The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Mark.
Glory to you, O Lord.
Jesus took Peter, James, and John and led them up a high mountain apart by themselves. And he was transfigured before them, and his clothes became dazzling white, such as no fuller on earth could bleach them. Then Elijah appeared to them along with Moses, and they were conversing with Jesus. Then Peter said to Jesus in reply, "Rabbi, it is good that we are here. Let us make 3 tents, one for you, one for Moses, and one for Elijah." He hardly knew what to say. They were so terrified. Then a cloud came, casting a shadow over them, and from the cloud came a voice, "This is my beloved Son, listen to him." Suddenly, looking around, they no longer saw anyone but Jesus alone with them. As they were coming down from the mountain, he charged them not to relate what they had seen to anyone, except when the Son of Man had risen from the dead. So they kept the matter to themselves, questioning what rising from the dead meant. Dear friends, the Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ. Please be seated.
Noon po kami nasa seminaryo pa lang sa Santo Domingo, Quezon City. We took our philosophy there, studied sa UST. At every now and then, we would encounter people walking along the corridors of the church. Malaki po kasi yung Santo Domingo. And one day, and I cannot really forget this, a person, a man, approached me and then said, "Father," and I told him, hindi pa po ako pari. But just the same, I need somebody na makakausap. So I listened to the person, and then he told about the difficulties. He must be an employee, a working person, naka-office dress pa siya, office uniform, and he was telling about the difficulties. In fact, sabi niya, ma-absent nga po ako sa trabaho sapagkat medyo mabigat na. And I was looking for a place kung saan maaaring makalimot sumandali. Sabi ko, natigilan ako, sabi ko, "Mama, baka maliho yung napuntahan nyo. Parang beer house lang ang peg. Hindi ho ito lugar para makalimot ka, but this is a place where you are actually going to be face to face with what you are going through. But the difference is that in this place, you will remember the promise of the Lord to you. You will remember that you are given enough and sufficient strength to go through kung ano man yung pinagdadaanan mo." I really cannot forget that event. At after that, it dawned on me that hindi madali ang buhay. Nasa loob, nasa labas, kung anong katayuan, anong trabaho, nasa abroad, andi dito, hindi madali ang buhay. And our professor, Father Enrico Gonzalez, would always remind us that hindi madali ang buhay. We all go through difficulties, sufferings, and challenges. Kaya nga naman po, doon sa ating ebanghelyong binasa, the transfiguration of the Lord, He invited His close followers, James, John, and Peter, on a mountain. And there He was transfigured. Pinasilip at pinakita yung kanilang masusumpungan, the victory in the end, if they hold on. Kapag kumapit lang. Saglit lang yon. But for Jesus, it was enough. for as long as we continue to remember what is in store for us. But at the back of my mind, I know that these three, and not only the three who were with Jesus, but the rest of the apostles and then the disciples, will experience a very traumatic event in the succeeding days, in the succeeding events. They will encounter, and right before their eyes, the one whom they followed suffering, being persecuted, and being led to death. That must have been very traumatic. And that was the reason for Jesus to bring them to a place where they will see the victory at hand, the prize that is at the end, if they hold on. Dear friends, ganun din tayo. Gasgas na dito sa pulpitong ito ang diskusyon, ang preaching that we are going through difficult times, challenging times. May mga iba sa atin at ganito na lang ang hinanghahawakan at bibigay na. Marami sa atin ang nagtatanong kung kailan matatapos. These are our questions. Pero meron ding katapusan. And in the gospel that we read today, the transfiguration event is not only for the three. It is actually for all of us. We are being given a glimpse of what awaits us if we hold on to the end. Along the way, we will falter. Along the way, some will commit sin. Many sins, in fact. Along the way, we will doubt. But that doesn't matter. What matters is how we will be able to recover from that weaknesses, from those weaknesses. The glimpse is important sapagkat yung glimpse na yon yung nagbigay ng lakas sa mga apostles na ipagpatuloy yung kanilang paglalakbay kasama ang Panginoon. Kumpara sa atin, naalala ko po yung commercial ng Nestle, yung para kanino ka bumabangon. You still remember that? Para kanino ka bumabangon. And for me, that is a very beautiful advertisement because sa mga nanay dito, kung merong mga magsasaka rito, pagkapagod na kayo sa pagsasaka and you're about to say, enough is enough. Pag nakita mo yung pamilya mo, babangon ka, di ba? Alas 5 ng madaling araw. Sa mga mangingisda, kahit na medyo maalon, and yet you see your children na walang pambaon, walang pang tuition, babangon ka. Yung mga nagtatrabaho dito sa daily workers, no? Nakakapagod pa ulit-ulit Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Thursday, Friday, paulit-ulit na lang, mata-traffic, tapos ganun lang yung matatanggap mo pagdating ng kinsenas at katapusan. Pero babangon ka pa rin, no? We wake up, kami rin po, no? Ganun din, paulit-ulit na lang, and yet bumabangon tayo. What we need is just the transfiguration event that tells us there is a sense to everything that we are going through, na merong something waiting for us. Make no mistake about it, mahirap ang buhay. And that is the theme nitong mga pagbasa natin sa mga nakaraang araw nitong Kwaresma, sa mga susunod na araw pa. That is the theme. But we miss the point if we simply linger on the thought of the difficulty. We miss the point of the transfiguration na pinakita sa atin ng Panginoon that there is a meaning to all of this. There is a meaning to all of this at merong saysay ang lahat ng paghihirap na ito. Hold on. Kaya nga po, there will be a challenge. Kung nakinig kayo ng maigi doon sa unang pagbasa, doon sa test kay Abraham, the test of Abraham, ang harsh. Ano? Yung mga nanay dito at mga magulang dito, hindi nyo nga mapadapuan ng lamok ang inyong mga anak. And yet, the test of Abraham is that, Abraham, can you offer your only begotten son to me? No? Offer in the altar. At habang siguro Abraham was gathering stones to build an altar, gathering wood for the fire, just imagine what is going through Abraham. Sabi ko nga, ang harsh mo naman, Lord, ang tindi naman ng test mo kay Abraham, no? And yet Abraham, no, obeyed. And then the Lord said, no, I've seen in your heart the difficulty that you're going through, and in spite of that, you obeyed me. I've seen your faithfulness before my eyes. At pagka nababasa ko yung kwento na yon ni Abraham, ang tanong ay, ano kayang test ang ibibigay sa atin ng ating Panginoon? But just like Abraham, our God will always be looking into our hearts. And hopefully He sees a faithful and obedient heart in each of us. Ang ganda rin po nung pangalawang pagbasa, sapagkat ang pangalawang pagbasa, you can make it as a kind of a mantra. If God is with us, who can be against us? Ulitin nyo nga po. If God is with us, who can be against us? Nothing can separate us. No difficulty can put us down, no? Ng tuloy-tuloy. Because if God is with us, who can be against us? And what can continue to pin us down? My dear friends, dalawa ang maaaring tingnan natin sa mga pinagdadaanan natin. Yung walang katapusang suffering, yung walang katapusang paghihirap, one after another, or we can look beyond. There is a God who promised us that if we hold on until the end, victory is for us. We will meet Him. And when we meet Him, everything else will be forgotten. Lahat ng paghihirap. Parang nanay po yan eh. Nung ako po ay nagtatrabaho pa sa aming institusyon, educational institution, hindi ko po tinitingnan yung mga gumagraduate sa tuwing kumukuha sila ng diploma. Ang tinitingnan ko po yung mukha ng mga magulang. Sunod-sunod na buntong hininga at ngiti. Parang napapawi daw lahat ng pinaghirapan nila kapag nakita nila na nakatapos na yung kanilang anak. I think it's more also of like that. When we see ourselves face to face with God, everything that we went through will make sense. If God is with us, who can be against us?